like we talked about, and this is a good segue, Black Adam last week or 2 weeks ago. And Hassan, you commented that they gave away a key plot point in the trailer. And
Wow.
but however, when I watched the movie, I had forgotten about that because the trailer had come out so many months earlier and Black Adam, it's not like I was watching the trailer with the same kind of intensity I would watch another, more known quantity superhero film. Like the Spider-Man trailer, like I'm watching that because I'm a Spider-Man fan. I've been a Spider-Man fan for a long time. Black Adam being a, villain of Shazam in the DC universe, those are things where I'm watching the trailer going like, all right, there's the Rock, he's flying around, that's cool. And so by the time I actually watched the film and enjoyed the film, that piece of plot had escaped me at that point. So it was as if I was being surprised, for the first time. Even though I guess
there's some heavy lifting to do there too, because I mean, for the people who do know who Black Adam is, which is a already smaller subset of people who will know who Shazam is, he started off as a bad guy.
Right.
And it's only recently that, and this is just what I'm getting secondhand through friends of mine who know more than I do, as they've started to turn him more into that sort of anti-hero type character. And,
well, he reminds you every single minute in that film that he's not a hero. Remember?
Right. Well, okay. I've not seen it, so yeah. So I think that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it because I think it looks fun, and I love Dr. Fate, so I'm anxious to see.
You won't be disappointed
Pierce
with
Brosnan.
You won't be disappointed with his performance. He does.
It's a pretty
he's the highlight
awesome,
of the movie. He's the
highlight. Oh, nice.
I liked Hawkman too. I liked Hawkman a lot. I thought,
I think the dynamic between Hawkman and Dr. Fate, I'll recorrect. The dynamic between the two of them is the highlight of the film. Now, The Rock is fine. They don't overpower The Rock as far as I'm concerned, but The Rock is there to profile and be preeminent, right? But the heart of the characterization and the heart of the film are Dr. Fate and to a slightly lesser degree Hawkman.
So what you're saying is they should really be steering towards a JSA movie and not another JLA movie.
Well, wait. So here's that's an excellent segue though, because and now Hassan, would you actually consider that? I think what they managed to do is they managed to actually have a movie hidden within a movie by introducing the JSA, and it's almost like a JSA movie, but it's also still Black Adam at the same time.
I think in spite of themselves, right? They had elements that they needed. They needed to have Black Adam be in the movie. The Rock wants to be Black Adam, which means he's got to be a protagonist to some extent, or if not, an anti-hero, right? He can't be a villain because we don't know. You can't have a story about a villain where you don't even know the heroes,
Yeah.
So, in order to kind of balance the movie out, they were forced to put these other characters in. And the DC characters, in comparison to the Marvel characters, are so absurdly stylized, so absurdly, like they're overpowered, I don't have anything against them. They're gods. DC's heroes are basically gods who are now wearing the guise of superheroes. That's like the DC motif. Whereas the Marvel heroes are humans who elevate themselves to, potential godhood or whatever. It's kind of the reverse of the two. So in order to have these like really like kind of absurd visuals of a man with hawk wings and another guy who, has got this, this ability to multiply himself and to see, various, aspects of the future. And then another guy who can turn, into a giant, and another person who can move really fast. If you're smart, you have to balance that out with some kind of like heartfelt interaction between them. The Rock story kind of already comes because of how they put it together and because of what they gave away in the trailer. And if you don't remember it, and if Steve hasn't seen it yet, I'm not gonna mention it. So just don't watch the trailer between now and when you watch the film, and you'll be fine.
I probably won't. And honestly, it's been so long since I saw the trailer when it dropped. Like you said, I couldn't even tell you right now what that could be. So
yeah. So then if you're If you're unaware, then I won't ruin that. So, but they did kind of give it away, and that's why I was sitting in the theater going, "Wait a minute, didn't they
Yeah,
say?"
why
And
did you
then
show this in the trailer?
and then it turned out, but
Yeah.
his story of I'm a god, I need to figure out what to do with these godlike powers is one story. But then you have all these other guys who are going to come after him. You got to give them something to do. You got to give them something to talk about. You got to have, And so I think inadvertently, because they needed to balance out this preeminent hulking guy in this, in this incredible outfit who, has this incredible entry scene where he just rises out of the ground and decimates a whole bunch of people. You got to balance that out with some characterization on the other side of it. And I think they, almost in spite of themselves, came up with some really amazing characters. They characterized pre-existing characters very well. That is the clumsiest way I've ever described anything, but that is what it is.
Let me ask.
And then you hire Pierce Brosnan. I mean, you
Right.
are definitely.
Let me ask both of you this question and see if you can be objective enough about the idea to actually approach it this way. So, could someone come into Black Adam who maybe only knows MCU films? Are they going to go into Black Adam and feel that way about those character introductions? Or are they still going to feel like they're like MCU light?
No, you know what? Again, I think it kind of brings back to my point about Black Panther. Black Adam is also shot in a way that I feel like stylistically is very different. There's a slickness to it. There's the color tones are deliberately different than what you would find in an MCU film.
Okay.
And so what I actually found was I knew the JSA or the Justice Society.
Yeah.
I knew them. I've read a couple of their comics. I knew the characters, but I don't know them because I was always more of a Marvel guy than DC guy. But by doing it the way they did it, and I'm amazed they pulled it off. I really am. I'm amazed they pulled off a movie within a movie. I was like, this is cool. Like, I want to see a Hawkman movie. I want to see Pierce Brosnan in another JSA film. I want to see, these characters. Yeah.
They
so Aaron,
they definitely didn't get lost in the scenery. It definitely isn't a situation where you're like, why would you even hire Pierce Brosnan to be in a movie like this?
Right.
And even the two side characters who don't have as much dialogue, and are presented as the rookies on the team. Even they get their own, they get fleshed out to enough of a degree where you kind of give a darn about, what happens to them and what's going on. So, I mean, it might be a matter of like comic book genre fatigue and the fact that unfortunately DC doesn't have a formula for these things. So they're constantly throwing things against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel uniformed. It doesn't feel like, every time they have a success, it's like, wow, I'm surprised. It's not one of those, whoa, they've done it again. And, I'm pumped for the next one. It's like, well, you're on a roll. Don't mess the next one up, kind of attitude. And unfortunately, Black Adam is not doing as well as they wanted to. So even though The Rock is
really,
adamant,
I think it's doing. Really?
No, it's not. Not according to. In order for it to break even, it's got to do a lot more business than it's already doing. But it doesn't mean it won't, because everybody wrote Jurassic Park off, and Jurassic Park is $1 billion movie now. It just took a longer time to get there than they figured. Everyone's still on
Dominion?
Yeah.
Oof.
It made $1 billion. Yeah, I mean, look, but I'm saying they wrote it off. Now everybody's thinking of the 2019. Everyone's thinking of the 2019 formula of it'll make all its money in the first 2-3 weeks and then it'll die out. But people are kind of taking their time to flock to the movies now. They've got other priorities at the moment. People are still a little wary of the big C, and there's extenuating circumstances, but movies are slowly climbing over that finish line. It's just taking longer than the punditry is used to. So everyone is always declaring something a failure, And then a couple of months later, when it crosses the finish line, they're like, "Wow,
Yeah.
who saw that coming?" It's like, "Wow,
Hmm.
I don't know. You're the only one who missed that one." You know?
As soon as people stop talking about something because 1,900 other new things have come up, everything flies by under the radar.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, look, the Dominion it wasn't day and date, but it like 45-day had a 45-day window.
Mm-hmm.
It still climbed over $1 billion after it was released digitally. You know, I had a copy of it at my house before it, and it still actually, you know, reported to have gotten over the $1 billion mark, which is good for Colin Trevorrow. But you know, I mean, I remember the rhetoric about that movie when it first came out, and people were like, nobody cares about this stuff anymore. Obviously, dinosaurs just don't work. And, you know, it's just too bad because it was a good franchise, and it's a shame to see it end like this. And then maybe 4 weeks later, they're like, holy crap, this is $1 billion movie. How did we miss this? It was terrible.
Yeah, considering the quality level, I mean, it's a huge missed opportunity in my book. But that's it is not a
movie. That's a whole. It's not a great movie. I only go. It's kind of, even though I think the Peter Jackson King Kong is a superior film in a lot of ways, I'm mainly there for the giant ape. You know. So like for Jurassic Park, I'm just there for the dinosaurs. I really don't care about whatever their weird subplots are and all those shenanigans. But
the one thing though, before we take a quick break, just on your point with Jurassic Park though, the one thing it did do, I thought better than what Star Wars was able to do, was merge two, you know, different generations of Jurassic Park movies.
Well, they managed to do it without murdering them all.
Yes, that helps too. That helps too.
Unlike Star Wars, like
but again, and this is a much larger conversation. The problem is they finally in that last act get everyone in the same shot together, and then they don't know what to do with them. Yeah. They're like, okay, everybody's together.
And now with the
just what should we do now?
Another big dinosaur
and the movie.
I don't know. Let's make s'mores.
And the movie. That's it. All right. What do you guys think? Drop your feedback in the comment section. Subscribe as well. I never remind people to do that, but hit the little subscribe button if you're on YouTube and watching us, or if you're on Facebook, follow us. If you're on Twitch, do something. I don't even know what we do on Twitch, so Twitter, follow us as well too. You can do that. That's for gamer nerds. But yeah, no, do all that fun stuff. When we come back, we will say goodbye to a comic book legend. Keep dropping like flies out here, and that's not a good thing. This was one of my favorites. So.
I know. What the heck? That's
we've
not
lost,
very
we've
sensitive.
Lost a lot.
Dropping like flies.
Hi guys, Mike Dolce here from the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes, and tune in every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for a brand new episode of the Rogue Wave podcast.